I've been thinking.
Let's get down to business.
Lovely. Dougie. What is the crack? Got your message. I was like, yeah, do you know what? After reading your message, I'll get into your message now in a second. I was looking going, what a bleeding random selection of things. Like, yeah, come on.
That's
Jesus.
me.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, I think my very, very, very first job, my second job in the fitness industry, my first job in the fitness industry, I done one day. You were there interviewing on my very first job in Total Fitness, yeah. So Dougie, back in the day, TF, that was Total Fitness.
When did you? Because I try to look back of all, like, when did I start and stuff like that?
I think it was 2005.
You were 5. Yeah,
2005.
I think 99 when I started, because I wasn't qualified, so I got work experience.
And well, you were the manager you were duty manager when I went for my interview on Total
That's another
Fitness.
thing. Yeah. That was like, when we get into the talking and about young people coming up in the industry and stuff like that, and where they want to go and what they want to do and stuff like that, I should have never went for duty manager. And that was
can't wait to get into it now.
That was just down to financials. That's all that was.
Yeah.
But so it was actually my dad got me the work experience in Total Fitness.
It's who you know.
Because my dad cleans windows.
Have you seen our windows?
Yeah, I'll get him around.
I'm not even messing.
I wouldn't mind. He hasn't been up a ladder in years, but like, I'll get him around. But he knew he'd done the manager and the assistant manager at the time were husband and wife. I forget the names. And he went, yeah, my son's he's in the course, he's looking for work experience. So the after came back from doing a day's work
Have a job,
at the windows, I went, I got you that work experience in Total Fitness. Just show up on Monday. He was telling me. I was like, all right.
Sound.
Showed him when my dad said, do your windows. Said I have a job. So he said, look, go on. They put me on reception first because I had no qualifications.
Yeah.
So they put me on reception because when you're qualified, then we'll put you in the gym. But I was able to do all the work experience while being on reception and stuff like that, being around the gym. What else? Handy number.
Old school commercial gym though, for anybody who doesn't know, like that was Total Fitness in Malahide.
Yeah.
Malahide.
Yeah.
That was a Total Fitness there. So you would have had your big receptions, your offices, your sales office, your canteens, your big foyers, too huge. It was built to be a gym. Now the industry's changed, but like, what a place to work back in the day. I still see some of the ladies from my old aqua class. Yeah. Might be, I don't know, in JC's and Swords or Lidl or Tesco.
You see them around.
Like you see them around, you still remember a lot of their names and their stories and stuff.
Well, I'm terrible with names. So faces, I'm grand with faces and names.
It's only one or two. Only the one or two who used to shout the abuse up.
Yeah.
Show your white bits. What a place to work though, Jesus. But that would have been 2005. And
when 2005?
I think so, 2005. It was, what year was the tsunami in Thailand? 2006, was it?
I think so.
So I think it was 2006. Yeah, I was in Thailand and left in, I think, September, August or something like that. Done one day in a gym in town and thought I'd absolutely hate it. And then do you remember Mick Finan?
Mick.
Shout out to Mick. Footloose, remember him dancing the Footloose and the shoe off and all? Mick, if you're listening, you're a legend. He actually was doing
more injuries than that.
I know, legend. But he rang me because I was in college with him in Closhida, and he said, listen, there's a job going in Total Fitness, you should come for it. So
did he have the job before you?
Yeah, he had the job before me.
No way.
Yeah, and he rang me, and Trish was there as well.
Yeah.
Trish from Legend. And
the thing about Trish is, right, me and Trish never got on, right? But I want to say, Trish was brilliant. Now, she might be surprised me saying that about Trish because we just never got on, never clicked. But she was a brilliant manager.
Yeah.
Let's get that on record.
She saw the best in everyone. She did try and see the best in everyone because we were a crazy team.
Yeah.
Crazy team. Like, that was, Jesus. Yeah, so 2006, I went there, had the interview, and I remember she said, right, go down into the changing rooms, get changed or whatever like that, and then go on up to the studio and your practical interview. Yeah. And it was in front of the full gym team. You were taking part in the class. I had to do, I think, a little bit of body conditioning and step aerobics at the time. And obviously,
because that was huge.
Had to have a block ready to go and stuff like that. And I remember I was wearing a Nike sleeveless top, a pair of deadly Nike runners, huge, the bubbles on them. I actually got them in Thailand, like Nike Shocks. Got them in Thailand, and you were actually in the class, taking part in the class, but interviewing me at the same time to see can this fella teach or not. But that's how much
of all
it
people
was.
Checking if you can teach step was the fella that couldn't do step.
But that was deadly back in the day, wasn't it? Like
it was
that big gym team.
It was a great gym, it really was. And I didn't know Mick was ahead of you.
Yeah, Mick was before me.
Because I remember Mick's interview. It wasn't great. To be honest, and Mick will probably tell you the same, but if he doesn't, he's a liar. But it wasn't great. But Mick had something.
Yeah.
And the teaching part just came later on. But Mick had, like, he could talk to anybody.
My brother works with him in sales. Worked with him for years in sales. And like you said, that can talk to anybody. But a nice fella as well. Funny.
So funny.
Joe, we need to catch up. We need a total fitness reunion.
You say that, and then you remember who was saying, you go, oh, I don't want to see that person. I don't want to see that person. No, it does be good when you meet up with the old staff.
Some of do you remember even the spin room?
Yeah.
You don't get it as much anymore now. Some clubs that are being built now and stuff like that, they've good rooms, they've good equipment and stuff like that. But the old school style where we had 40 bikes lengthways, and just the blacked out room, the stage, the mic systems and stuff like that.
It was really
mental.
Good. And I remember, like as I said, from when I joined, and it was always an elite gym. It was always somewhere where people wanted to go, and that was it was the main gym at the time. Like there was
Jackie Skelly's and Swords was.
But they were a while after. Like it really was the only place to go. But I remember over the years, and I remember saying it to somebody. One of the managers was I forget his name. Robbie
Hall?
Yeah, I remember saying to Robbie,
great teacher.
Look, this is near the end of. No, I still would have been a gym instructor, so it was before I became duty manager. But I was going because we used to do the workshops. Remember the workshops? We used to do them
in house.
So I said, Robbie, this used to be a place where people they get all their experience somewhere else, and they used to come to Total Fitness, and that's where they be, and that's where they build up whatever. Go into personal trainer or whatever like that. But then, what was happening was people were using because the training was so good as well. People were actually using Total Fitness, and then going.
Mm.
I was like, Robbie, this is where people end up. This is where they used to end up.
They're happy with it. Like you have a solid team for a long period of time.
But now there's so many people coming in and out, and they're just using, like going in and getting the training. Training was so good, as I said. Going in and getting the training, all the work, doing the workshops, all the other stuff. And then they were only there for a couple of months or maybe a year, and then they'd be gone. Like the turnover of staff near the end was fairly.
Yeah, at the start it was solid enough though.
Yeah. Because you knew you had like.
Yeah, serious teams. But that's when you were teaching. I think you were teaching about 18 classes a week.
Yeah.
17 was the average. You might be teaching 17, 18 classes a week on your shift. Now the industry's changed. It's had to change. Like it's businesses that run it now. But that was 3 clubs: Malahide, Sandyford, and Blanche. On the and do you remember the cross on the roof? Cascube. Remember the windows the skylights were done in the cross.
Which one was this?
In Malahide and Blanche, they were mirror images of themselves. The 2 clubs.
Yes.
So they were actually, but because Gube was obviously the owner and he was very religious. When he died, he gave all his money to the Catholic Church, I think.
Sure, he lives in the Isle of Man, did he?
Yeah.
And he built a church.
Did he build it?
Yeah, he built a church, because there's no church.
Yeah, as you do. But if anybody's flying over that building, actually, if you're flying out now or into
it's
Dublin,
in the design of a cross.
the skylights on those
Yeah.
Total Fitnesses are done in a cross.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I didn't know
so
that.
he built them that way. We nearly bought that place when it closed.
No way.
Yeah, this was when Image was in its infancy, and we I think we were at something like €8.65 per square foot.
Looking back now,
it would have been a fucking disaster.
Is it a good thing or a
good thing?
Yeah.
I only had this conversation today back in the house about getting emotionally attached to something, and my God, so I won't mind me saying this either. That would have been like one of our big, say, first ventures.
Yeah.
So Image had been born. We were already running some courses. I think it might have been in Liffey Valley at the time, or I'm not sure in the location where we were running at that time, but Total Fitness had been closed for maybe a year or something like that. And we were negotiating with, it was Mason, Allen and Lyons was the solicitors at the time. So we were negotiating to take the full building, reopen it as a large club. The beauty of what it was, obviously then have our academies in there and just kind of the whole ecosystem to flourish in.
Yeah, and a lot of the space at the time wasn't being used properly. For the size of the place that it was. So yeah, you having your academy there would have been. But in hindsight, it's the best that you didn't get it.
Man, 100%. It just kind of, you're emotionally driven, going, oh yeah, that'll work, and that's on paper. And geez, this was 12, would have been 12 odd years ago. So even business experience, what we learned out of it was loads. But business experience, we didn't have a lot, but we had drive, passion, ambition, all the usuals where you know when you think you'll make this work.
This is going to work.
And we were at €8.65 per square foot on a 64,000 square foot club, which was insane when you look back at it now, going, what were you thinking? Including the pools. So I think it was 165 grand a year, the cost for upkeeping that pool with the chemicals and all that. Ballpark. But he had put in for planning permission to chop it all up to retail, which is what it is now.
Yes.
But Tesco's at the time objected. Because obviously there's Tesco's there or Clare Hall Shopping Centre.
One
of them objected to the
retail part.
Yeah, to the retail going in. And that's why they were even contemplating €8.65 per square foot. Whereas at retail they were getting at that time €16 to €17.50 per square foot on 64,000 square foot. Chopped up into units, so it made sense. Anyway, long story short, the planning permission was what was keeping our head above water to try and be in there with a shout to get it. We went in, viewed it, the whole lot. And then I think Ube opened up a place in Liverpool or something along those lines. And I think Tesco's ended up being the anchor tenant of one of those places. And I think the planning got removed. And they got us on. They worked it out between themselves in the end. Yeah. So, fair play.
The way it works out though for you then as well.
Absolutely blessed in the end. I'm just thinking we wouldn't have had a big team in place. Yeah, we probably would have got swallowed up. Like, you have to be kind of humble enough to say, looking back on it, we probably would have got swallowed up, or we wouldn't have been able to focus fully on image fitness training.
The college, the academy. Would it be?
I think the actual endeavour of a 64,000 square foot gym with, you're talking, 8,000 members from the get-go is what you want. A team of, I think it was 16, 17 at the time. Salaries, sales system, sales teams, canteen, all of that stuff. How can you expect to run the best academy in the country, or what you want to be the best academy or the best college in the country, while you're also trying to run the biggest
gym in the country? That's what it would be.
Blessed in disguise, but great days.
You were saying that Blanche and the Malahide Top Fitness were image of each other, like they
mirror image, yeah.
Well, I worked on reception, so before I got qualified, and remember Norma.
But Norma came and went. Norma
was Norma not there?
Yeah, she was. Came and went, as in, like, you'd see Norma every 3 months, and if you saw Norma, there was a reason.
She was I think she was aerial manager at the time.
Yeah, fairly sure she beat up a few duty managers at one stage.
But she needed somebody in Blanche, and I never worked there, like on reception. And she goes, will you do the thing? I said, yeah. And so I went over and set up on reception. So in the Malahide one, if someone doesn't have their card, you just press the button and the gate opens.
Yeah, on the right hand side.
And you let them in, right? So that morning then a few people came in, no cards. I said, no problem, press the button. Open the gate wouldn't open. Press the button again, the gate wouldn't open. Keep pressing the button, the gate wouldn't open, So I just, whatever done, I got them in and next of all, a few minutes later, after me pressing that button, a woman walks in and she goes, because Blanche had barriers. Now the arms that go up now.
Yeah.
She goes, the arm, I was driving in and the arm came smashing down in my car. Then I went back up again and it came smashing down in my car. That was the button for the arm. That was the button for the arm. And I kept pressing. And I was getting smashing off our window. I was like, I don't know. Norma.
Brilliant. Oh, classic. But Jesus, so yeah.
So it wasn't anyway. It wasn't a mirror image. Just to let you know.
we didn't have a barrier.
No, we had no barriers.
Don't need barriers in Coolock.
No.
Sorry, Malahide.
Yeah.
Some set up there now. In fairness, that they have some set up there now, Anyway, moving on from Total Fitness. Do you remember? Sorry, not moving on from Total Fitness. Remember the 6 o'clock in the morning starts. Depending on who you're on with, you'd have some crack. Now we all lived within 5-minute journey, but Jesus, they broke your heart, didn't they?
I can't do early mornings.
I'm not great with them either.
Really can't. Like, I stay up too late, and even last night I did.
Same.
I just stay up late.
Yeah.
And now I work nights now and anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But even when I was working, like in Total Fitness on the early shift or the job that I'm in now, if I had an early shift, I'd still stay up late and still only get like
3-4 hours kid.
Yeah. Out the door.
Yeah.
But I just can't. And I remember I moved from Total Fitness, I moved to Slender Health.
Rainy.
Yeah, and it was a smaller gym. So in my head I was going, grand, it's going to be handy. Smaller gym, less classes.
More eyes on you.
Twice as many classes. Like you were. Remember in Total Fitness, you said, I need 10 minutes for the shower. Like I'm not getting any shower in between classes, and they actually allocated time for showers and stuff like that. Forget about that in Slender Health. That was just like shower.
Shut up.
Change your top and get out. You have a PT or whatever you had, and those fun classes, and it was all open as well. So like your class would be going on, spinning class would be right in the middle of. Have you been in?
Yeah.
So spinning class right
before it got adjusted or anything like that. That was when there was
so
male and female days.
Yeah, just spinning, and so it was all open. So you literally are running from place to place, and but the early mornings, especially there as well. I remember doing a class one in the morning. I was actually standing, I nearly falling asleep, standing up, and that was my own fault because I just stayed up.
Did you ever fall asleep standing up?
I was doing the class, I was like that.
I fell asleep standing up once. Gran Canaria. I'm not even joking. Gran Canaria, yeah. 18, I think. Second holiday, and you know when you're stupid and you're young and holidays, you're gone out like 6-7 nights in a row of a 2-week holiday. This is when you used to come out for 2 weeks and not a care in the world.
All day.
Yeah, and you think you're here. I remember just standing dance floor and just nodding, just standing. I was on the far side. I don't even think there was many people left in the club or whatever it was. And just standing up, probably leaning against something, and I just drifted off standing up and leaned forward. Did you ever have one of those leans where you fall but you turn it into a run and you just sort of done it? I pretty much just looked like I ran it straight across the dance floor. I was like, yeah, it's time to go home. Happened to me in the Dart as well when I was labouring the same year, standing up against the doors and just nodded off on the way back from, I think it was Lansdowne to Raheny or something like that, Friday afternoon after doing a week of labouring. This is when I was a kid. Just nodded off. Woke up, leaned forward, woke up mid-lane, and just jogged across from door to door in the Dart. People just looking at me. Like, yeah.
Stretch.
Yeah. Oh,
it's going to
turn it into a jog.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on from Total Fitness, you're up to loads of random stuff. Like I got the message. Hang on, I'm going to read some of this message out. So if anybody's thinking, so what does Dougie do? And obviously we've got stuff in relation. So like you've got your classes, so talk about fitness, different benefits, all that kind of stuff. You also start back teaching classes, stretch and breathe and relaxation classes, talk about that, promote the class and stuff. A few other things we can also talk about. Just signed up to an ultra run in May, John and Barry's backyard run, training for at the moment, and also happen to have written a children's book, 30 poems. So like naturally straight away I thought of knowing you're walking into Lidl and you're thinking, right, I need to grab I better go down there and get that milk, but you have to get the milk, you have to walk past scuba gear, tools, a kid's blackboard and a grey football. It was like that just it's random. Go on, fire.
But that's the thing, is that like that message looks like God.
It's controlled.
There's loads going on. But it's a strange, hard to explain. I've loads going on, but I don't have loads going on. As such, like that, like say for example, the book, the children's book, right? So
The Magician's Assistant. Deadly, love the name.
So at the minute, that's being illustrated. So I'm actually not doing that.
Yeah.
So even though I'm reading a book,
so where did the idea come from?
It came from actually a real life event, a story. So what it was, and Ray is gonna kill me because it was he done it. It was so funny. So there was a communion party or whatever in Reyes, and they got a magician in. It was a birthday party, whatever, and they got a magician in.
Ray is Dougie's brother. Legend as well.
And worked in Total Fitness, and so we were all in the kitchen. Like the kids were all in the sitting room, waiting for the magician to come. And it's a townhouse. Is that what they're called? So the stairs, just
Yeah.
stairs leading up. So we're in the kitchen. Ray comes in, goes, the magician's downstairs. The magician's downstairs. Come down and give him a hand, will you? He's an outfit, like, right? So, oh yeah, I'll give him a hand, yeah. So he's the magician's unloading his car of all the boxes and stuff like that, right? So me and Ray go down, grab a box back upstairs, grab a box back upstairs. It was all done, basically. And the magician had already gone up with one box and left it outside. Left it outside the hall door. And so he was getting the rest of the gear in. So it was all done. So it was grand. I went back into the kitchen. And Ray was out there. Ray was out there with the magician. And next to Ray, a few seconds later, Ray comes in, right? He's panicking. He's wax white. Because all the kids are around looking at the magician bringing all the stuff in. And he's wax white. And next to he goes, burst through the door and he goes, I'm at the ruining the magician's trick. It's big finale. I'm at the ruining the whole thing, he said. And I said, what would you do? The box that he left outside, right? It's a collapsible box because it's a trick.
Yeah.
So it's a collapsible box. And so Ray went, I just have to leave this one outside. Now all the kids are around. And Ray picked the box up and the whole thing collapsed. Next to all the rabbit. Rabbits are sent out. So all the kids know the rabbit's in that box, right?
No.
So Ray's in a sweat. He's coming in at the ruining his trick, at the revealing the rabbit and all the big finale, because that was his last trick, was the rabbit. So I was in Bisland. So through the whole, now the magician was very good because through the whole thing, the kids went, there's a rabbit in the box.
Oh, no.
That's all they kept saying to him. And he's like,
retired.
And he was like, you saw, and he's like a Jedi, you saw nothing. You won't remember that. He's going through it. And he done it very well because the kids would not leave him about the rabbit in the box. Because no rabbit in the box. He kept doing it. So from that then, it started off with a poem. I just wrote a poem, The Magician's Assistant, and put it into a poem.
Deadly.
And then when I was reading over it, I went, that could be it, because it's fairly long. I said, that could be a bit of a story. Like, so I added a bit at the end, which
Deadly.
turns it into a story.
Yeah.
So that's being illustrated at the minute.
Brilliant.
And that's where that came from. It's being illustrated as well, I just want to say, by Sophia Rafferty. I think it's let's just double check it. But she is a young illustrator, and to be honest, very lucky to get her because illustrations are very expensive. And
So is she young, up and coming, kind of?
yeah, and if she stays at it, this would be like that's it. On Instagram. She's a liquid _cloud.
Liquid
And
underscore cloud.
And
Now,
you'll see all
do
of
you
her.
want us to stick a link up for her?
Yeah.
What if she starts getting a load of followers and then put your project on hold?
yeah, that's the thing. I'm like,
Yeah, we'll stick. We'll stick. We'll stick.
You'll see
Shout
all
out
of
in the
our, you'll see all of our illustrations, and they're all. You'll see her style of illustration. So she's doing that in a minute, and the thing is, it's she's in college as well, so it's the process is long because I don't know if you know, I do a bit of art myself, and people are like, would you not do the illustration yourself? So, nope, not a chance. It's just way too time consuming.
Give a look at some of her stuff. Style.
That's it there.
Deadly. Anybody who's
Oh yeah.
looking up. Liquid.
Oh, what am I off? Am I on?
Good man, Dougie.
How's that work? There we go. And anyway, the yoke will be up there. So we'll get it up.
We'll get it up.
Yeah, so as I said, very lucky to get her.
How long is that process in place now? Like, when did this start?
The illustration part started, it was last year after the summer. Because we went away, my mate, Dave, it's his niece. And we were another one of those family holidays, but it was every day drinking on the holiday.
Where'd you go?
And we went, where did we go? Jeez, I can't even remember now.
Carlo.
I can't even remember. It was Spain.
A lot of drinking, so.
It was a lot of drinking. I'm terrible with places. Linda books everything, and then I just show up.
Yeah.
So
I'll see you there.
El Delfe Verde.
Yeah.
Someplace, but a resort anyway. But they didn't know I read a book or poems or anything like that. And I kept saying, because he has kids as well, I kept saying, And the kids were hyper. I said, I'll read you the story. I'm hammered. I'll read you the story. And they're like, ah, yeah. I said, no, I have a story. I wrote a story about it. So I read the kids the story like that. And I said, I'm just looking for an illustrator. And Dave's like, oh, yeah, my niece is an illustrator. I was like, oh, happy days. This just works out, like, you know. So that's where we got Sophia from. And but as I said, she's in college. Process is slow. With her college work and the whole lot, which is very good. Very good. As I said, it got her a good price. Still expensive, but compared to what an illustrator is. So if she sticks at it, she'll be.
When are you hoping to have it out?
See, I don't want to put pressure on her either.
Yeah.
So I just said, look, because she said before Christmas, gone.
Yeah.
I was like, that's quick.
Yeah. But you'd rather it not be forced anyway. You want her to probably enjoy the process as well.
And I said, are you sure? She goes, yeah. No, she wasn't in college at the time. She's in college now. So I said, don't worry about it. Just whenever you get it done, that's the right time that it's meant to be done.
Yeah.
There's no point in me going.
Yeah.
So so we're just looking. The thing then is getting a publisher. That's what I'm looking for. I noticed I try to email, brutal, but I try to email publishers saying I have a book, blah 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 blah, and just waiting for people to get back to me, which they haven't. Now I'd love to have an Irish publisher, but anybody really that does kids books, because the whole process is done apart from a publisher really. So that's what I'm looking for. If there's one out there,
if there's anybody listening.
Early
podcast. I don't know if we've got too many listeners yet, but you never know. There could be. A lot happens for a reason.
Somebody knows
somebody who's thinking, going, hang on, the magician's assistant. I like it. They probably love the backstory behind it. The little rabbit sitting there at the top of the steps.
Oh, so funny.
Brilliant. How are the lads? Ray, Mick,
yeah. So Mick's gigging away still. Ray has gone really into, because one of the other things that we were going to talk about was
we can jump in.
I don't want to see, the thing about jumping in is that this subject is very taboo still.
Yeah.
And so what the bit of a disclaimer on my part is the fact that I'm not qualified to talk about any of this.
Yeah. But so you're just talking about experience.
What I am qualified, it's my experience. So
no, we're not. It's not like we're sitting here promoting stuff.
No.
I mean, I bumped into you in the pavilions before Christmas, I think, was it?
It was just
and we just said, Jesus, what's the story? How you getting on? Blah blah blah. Usual chit chat, and then you mentioned ayahuasca or DMT and stuff like that. I was like, Jesus, stuff like that. That's when you a few weeks later sent me that message and stuff like that, and said, obviously, I've kind of delved in that realm, and I've looked in stuff like that as well, only online and YouTube and stuff like that. So no, we're not promoting that. You're talking about experiences. I'm actually interested in your experience. I'm not.
And it's hard to talk about because unless like you're interested in it, but if you're talking to somebody that's not interested in it, but you're trying to explain to them,
they think you're a fruitcake.
Yeah, it's really, they just see the what you call it, the psychedelic part of it, going, you get mad over it, like, which is not the thing at all. So if you're so they're plant medicines. I'd rather call them plant medicines than drugs because drugs is just such a broad term and it takes in everything. So these are plant medicines, and so we talk about the retreat I done was a mushroom retreat. So it was a 3-day mushroom retreat. The thing is, the only time you do any psychedelics is on the last day, and that's the mushrooms.
Yeah.
So through the whole thing, you're not out of your face. Thing. So.
You're almost getting in the mind frame or something, is it? Like,
yeah, you have to. But it's even before. So it was Ray that said to me, this way when we get on to Ray, it was Ray that said to me, because Ray and my other brother Paddy, they've been doing this for a while now, and they're really into it, but they know the benefits of it, and they're like, they just want everybody to try it because they know the benefits of it. They go, try this. The reason why I don't tell people to, like, I can't recommend for you to try it or anybody to try it because everybody's experience is different.
Yeah.
And the reason I tried it is because I was interested in it. So, because people, and the experience I had was good, but because everybody's experience is different, if I say to you, you should try it, I recommend you to do this, and then you go do it, and you don't have a good experience, which can happen.
Yeah.
You're going to come back to me going, and you're never going to try it again. And you're going to come back going, what the hell is that? Why did you even suggest that to me?
Yeah.
When you're doing these retreats as well, some places don't even let you do it unless you do a month of outside work. So breathing, diet, mindfulness, all that sort of stuff. Like, because a lot of foods will interact with the plant medicines, and then you won't get the experience that you need to get. So like, cut out meat. Basically, it's all vegetarian, all natural foods. In the lead up to this, so as I said, some places it'll be a month.
And is that to like
They want you to cleanse for a
rid
month.
the body of toxins that can interfere with
yeah.
the process, or like my experience is zero. So
No, that's 100% what it is.
okay,
Yeah, because people talk about a bad trip, and there's actually no such thing as a bad trip. What it is that people haven't done the work before they go into these retreats. A simple thing.
so when you say bad trip, no such thing as a bad trip, you mean they might label it a bad trip?
Oh yeah, they label it, yeah.
Because the experience that they've had on the back end of it might be bad, but
that's what it is.
A trip is a trip, and you label it bad.
Yeah. And this is another reason why I can't recommend it, because I don't know what's gone on in another person's life, what trauma they've been through, any of that sort of stuff. And the work that you do before you go into these retreats is that you have to recognize what has gone on in your life previously. So your childhood, your relationships, whatever it may be, you have to recognize it. You have to go and do the work to come to terms with it. Because when you do these retreats, it's going to show you stuff that you're not ready. You mightn't be ready to see.
Yeah. Give us not an example of your trip, right, like that, because
I've been fortunate because I've been
when you say show you stuff, like if there's somebody watching here and going, what's he mean? Show you stuff like entities, visuals,
more visuals and stuff like that. Well, I'll say it again, I can't, because
from your experience,
it's different for everybody. So, for example, if somebody had some sort of trauma, no matter what it may be, no matter how small it may be, when you do these retreats, it'll show you, it'll bring it up. It could bring you back to your childhood. It could be a memory or something that you've buried.
Played to you like a film, played to you like you're back there, you're third person.
Yeah.
Clear.
You could be even talking to yourself as a child. But if you're not ready to see these things, and if you haven't done the work beforehand, well then it's just going to be so hard to accept what you see. And then if it's a trauma from years ago that you haven't dealt with and it's been brought up, it's going to really hit you. And you're going to go, I don't want to do that again. That's horrible. This is why you can't recommend it. So one of the things to do, there's so many, but one of the things is your sea dips. When you go into the water, you have to learn to let go. Because when you go into the cold water and you want to get out, as soon as your feet hit the water, you're going, I don't want to do this. And then you continue on in, and then you're up to your waist and up to your neck. You're going, you have to relax. You have to breathe. You have to stay calm. You have to go, I'm not in any danger here. Nothing's going to harm me. I'm in water. I'm in full control. Yes, it's cold. That stops after a few minutes. Breathe, relax, breathe, relax, breathe, relax. That's only one very small part. If you don't do that sort of work, when you go into a situation where you're on the retreats and you're seeing these things, you're not harmed. You can't be harmed in the retreat, in a trip.
Yeah.
So if you're seeing anything that's really troubling to you, or you find it hard, you need to be able to calm down, let go, accept what you're seeing, and I'm going to deal with it. But if you haven't done the work beforehand,
you haven't been in a similar scenario when you need to make the similar decisions to calm or.
And even like that, as I said, water is one part. So another part would be recognizing what has gone on in your past, or what problems or what situations you're in that you need to deal with. But then being able to talk to somebody about that, and being able to open up and let go and recognize. If you can't do any of that, and you do one of these retreats, you're gonna find it really difficult, really difficult. Because it happened on my one. Now, there's so many elements to it as well. So when I'll just go through the retreat itself. So when we get there was 20 people, 250-acre farmland. There was kayaks. There was.
This in Ireland?
Yeah, beautiful. It was in Mayo. Sorry, it was in Mayo. Beautiful it was. So this is somebody's house. It's a farm, a working farm, like, and so they open up to for these retreats. So when you get there, you're talking to everybody, all strangers, talking to everybody, blah blah. If you get 20 people full of drink on a 250-acre land with kayaks, rivers, a lake, it's going to be carnage over 3 days.
Yeah.
If they're drinking, right?
There's not 20 coming back.
Yeah. Marriages are going to get broken up. We had 20 people, all strangers, doing a full 3-day plant medicine mushroom ceremony. There wasn't one bad word spoken between anybody. It was so peaceful.
Anybody goes in 2s and 3s, right? Like
Yeah,
that?
well, Ray went. The reason why I went, because Ray said it to me. Now, this is why I said the work has to be done beforehand, because I think it was fairly close. It could have been 2 weeks out before I said yes, because you asked me late. And I went, but I was so interested in it. I said, yeah, I'll do it. And luckily, I've been very fortunate in my life not to have any major trauma.
Yeah.
I'm fairly relaxed. So I was grand. Yeah.
Touch wood.
100%.
Yeah.
So my experience was really good, really positive. And what I got out of mine was I wasn't grateful for what I had. That's what I got out of mine.
Yeah.
So I was going, because I felt like I shouldn't have been there as well. I felt like an imposter syndrome because
you hadn't prepped, or
no,
you
because
didn't have knowledge
when I spoke to all these people that were there, because everybody just generally opens up. I think it was by halfway through the first day, everybody was talking about why they're here, what their issues were, what family life, whatever, drug addiction, abuse, sexual abuse, all that sort of stuff. And we all opened up now.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I'm not addicted to anything. I've never been abused. Like, I don't gamble. I was like, I shouldn't be here. I felt like I was robbing someone's spot, basically. And I was going, I shouldn't be here. This is not. I felt bad. And it was one of the girls, Sinead, said it to me, because you do, I'm sort of jumping, but you do, what was the first thing we done? We done Cambo was one of the first. So Cambo is a frog. It's actually a frog poison.
I think I actually saw something like that on Sky the other night, on World's Most Amazing Creatures.
So they excrete the poison off the frog. They
Sorry, so
yeah, go on.
This farm is in Mayo. So whoever owns the house or the farm.
Oh, they own
like, so
yeah.
I know, I get that, but like, so does he have Amazonian frogs
So
there, or
no. So
vials? What's the story? Like, is it
what it is? It's set up by somebody that's trained in administering these types of medicines.
okay?
So this is another thing that is above all. Like, obviously, do your work beforehand, but above all, if you're going to do any of these things, make sure you're 100% safe and 100% confident in the person doing the medicines. If you have any doubt whatsoever, or just go, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And step away. Hold on. Because if you don't feel safe and you do these medicines, it's you're already on edge. It's not going to work out good for you. Like,
Catalyst in the wrong direction.
yeah, and there's people out there obviously as well that just won't do a good job. Just won't. They're just in it for the money or whatever. Same again. We were very lucky. I'm not going to name names or anything, but this fellow was recommended to me. So, and I trusted the person that recommended it to me.
Yeah.
So I was grand. Like I had no problem, no issues, whatever. And everything was like, talk about like, if you didn't want to do anything, if you just wanted, say if you paid your money and you went down there, and a few people did, there was one, it's called Rep A, and it's Amazonian snuff. So it's tobacco in a fine powder. And she went, no, I'm not doing that. And my man goes, that's no problem. That's no problem whatsoever. This is your time. This is your 3 days. You tell me what.
Where do you sleep and all?
Oh, just on a. Oh no, actually, down in Mayo, we were very lucky. We had a room like. It was like
So it depends on the
but
experience.
normally it's a hall or it's a room where you have your blow up mattress and you just sleep there. But you do your ceremony there, you sleep there, all that. But
And is there charlatans out there, cowboys, trying to pull the wool over people's eyes, or charging stupid money and not really caring about the individuals or what effect they might have on them?
well, I haven't experienced that. I'm pretty sure there is, but as there always is somebody. But the thing about these medicines is, in general, when you do these medicines, you just have your whole perspective is different. Your whole outlook is different. So if somebody has done the medicines, I can't see them going, unless they're a really bad person, I can't see them going, oh, let's make money out of this, because it opens everything up, basically. You're so open to everything, to people, so calm, so relaxed, so understanding. So I can't see anybody that's done them properly to go, let's make money off this.
Yeah. How long was your trip?
So when you do it could be anywhere from 4 hours upwards.
So it was
hands-on.
So was that the ayahuasca version off the vine or something?
No, this was the mushroom.
Okay.
So when we get there, we do the Cambo first. Cambo is Amazonian medicine, which the whole tribe take. So at the time of a hunt, when the tribe are going out hunting, the whole tribe that's kids and everything, do the frog medicine. And the reason being is it clears you out. Right. So any parasites or anything in the body, it gets rid of all them. Because they're going out to do a hunt, they're bringing back food, they want to be clear, they don't want any parasites, any illnesses after that. They've no, obviously, doctors in the Amazon. So this is their medicine. And that's why it's called a plant medicine, because it is their medicine. So the whole tribe does it, and it also then connects everybody, because everybody's on the same wavelength. Now, this is not an hallucinogenic.
Right.
So, gets a little bit of wood, like a toothpick sized bit of wood, singes. They're called portals. So, if it's your first time, you probably do 3. You wouldn't do any more than that. If you want more, you can do more, but generally. So then he gets the frog medicine, puts it on. Now, as soon as that touches the skin, you feel it straight away. You feel the warmth, and just runs through the body. So you can have it anywhere. Some people get it down the neck, on the arm, on the thigh, whatever. And now what happens is, because you would have cleansed, or you would have fasted beforehand. So there's nothing in your stomach. Yeah. But because this is going to make you sick, well, we don't call it sick either. Because you're going to purge, you must drink water for something to be there in your stomach. So you have to drink about 2 liters of water.
So you can throw it back up, basically.
Yeah, just before.
Without being disgusting, but it is. You're going to puke it back up.
But it's not like obviously there's nothing in your stomach, so there's no smell. There's only sound. It's only liquid.
Yeah. It's still a horrible sound.
Yeah. Do you know what's horrible? Drinking 2 liters of water within less than 5 minutes. It's so tough. And some people were sipping it. I said, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. So I'm going to do it like a Guinness. So just drink. It's about 3 sups.
Pay an extra 50 cents for it now.
Drink, and then drink again. And the 2 liters are gone. I was like, but the water's here. Like, you're going, you feel like getting sick in anyway.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm ready. So that went on. 2 hours around, comes back, how are you feeling? Oh, yeah. If you want another one, get another one, or whatever. I think I got 4, 3 or 4, I can't remember. And so, yeah, that's a cleanser. So
while you were feeling the warmth going across the body and stuff like that, during that period, you're also having to purge. So it's like
no. at the start, it's just you just feel it coming through. It just hits the body. So you're grand, you're going to feel a bit, you feel it, getting the sweats, like that. You meant to sit up as well. So don't lean over because all the fluid then, it can actually actually swell your face. All these videos are on YouTube. You're meant to sit up. So when you purge, you're meant to come back up.
Yeah.
And then you go again. It's a warrior medicine. So
Okay.
you're meant to be, you're not meant to be keeled over like that. You're meant to be sitting up. Warrior medicine. And people that lean over, keep leaning over, all the fluid, their lips will be swollen. So you're meant to sit up. So this is to cleanse the body. It gets you on basically a spiritual path to what's coming next.
Yeah.
So then, and as soon as you're finished, all this goes into a bucket. So as soon as you're finished, and you go, oh, yeah, I'm done. You go, yeah, I'm done. It just comes over, takes off the frog, and then that's it. You come back to normal as quick as it started. Now your body is a bit drained because of what you've gone through.
Yeah.
You feel great though. You feel like you have to achieving something, or you're going somewhere. You know what's coming with the mushroom, so you just feel in a better place to experience that. So then Sananga is another one. Now I knew nothing about this. I agreed to go on this. I knew nothing, but I was so interested. That's why I said yeah, I'll do it. But knew nothing about exactly what I was getting into. So when I agreed to it, with Ray, my brother Paddy went a couple of days later. I was on to Paddy, and he's like, oh, "Are you ready for it?" I was like, "Ready for what? Yeah, the rap." And he's explaining everything. I was like, "Oh, what the hell is this? What am I getting into?" So the Sananga is same again. I'm not qualified to talk about these things, but the Sananga is,
in your experience,
is it's from a leaf, I think it is, but it's a liquid.
Right.
It's for the eyes. So when they're hunting, for the hunters, this brings clarity, and they're able to see a lot better. That's what they feel they get out of it. Focused, grounded, ready to hunt, and everything in eye drops.
Yeah.
Stings.
For a second, yeah. So it's
that times 100.
Really?
You think you're going to lose your sight?
Really? Legend, buddy. Thank you.
So, but you do all your prep work beforehand. This is what I'm trying to say with sea dips, breathing, relaxing.
So you're pouring Tabasco sauce into your eyes for a few weeks?
I've never done that, but I'm pretty sure that's it. So, it's so important that people understand that the prep work has to be done beforehand, which I didn't do it the first time.
Sure, you had 2 weeks.
Yeah, I jumped into it, but I was so interested. But I had done sea dips before and stuff like that, so I was kind of, and breathing, so I was okay doing that. So everybody's lying down, you're after doing your breathing exercises. You're told to stay calm, relaxed. So you close your eyes, and then he puts a drop there and a drop there. So on each eyelid, he puts a drop, and then breathe. And when everybody's ready, he goes, and open your eyes. So when you open your eyes, you have half a second, if less, of, oh, this is grand. But next of all, pain. Like those pure, like something that's scalding your eye. You're blind.
Just picturing I'm just picturing a fucking community hall in Mayo with about 20 people running around like they're after being pepper sprayed.
Not one person screamed.
Just
not one person.
Pure pain and not scream.
Not one person screamed. Everybody just went, and then.
So again, your breathing techniques and going back to being in control. What
I done was, and held me breath. I just couldn't. Squares my eyes closed, held me breath, and the fellow was walking around and he goes, and breathe, just relax, breathe. So I said it to him afterwards. I was like a newborn baby trying to blow out candles. That's what that's what it was like, trying to get me breath back. Just to try to stay calm. So then what you do is you open your eyes, close your eyes, open your eyes. It stings, doesn't sting, stings, doesn't sting. Then slowly goes away. And then it's grand, like perfect. So you have to clean out your whole, basically, clean out your eyes, basically. And same again. Some people feel different
You
about
seen
it.
it? Are you seeing that different?
See, at night when we done the Sananga,
It's not hallucinogenic.
No,
you know?
none of these are
Yeah, okay.
hallucinogenics. So at night time, this is all prep work again for what you're going to be doing with the mushroom. And it was night time. I think during the day, I think everything is so much clearer. Like if you'd done Sananga during the day and went out just outside, you'd be like, oh, everything's just more vibrant, more clear, and all that sort of stuff. So Cambo, Sananga, the Rapé. So Rapé is as a tobacco, a fine tobacco, and that gets blown up your nose.
I think I've seen it on YouTube actually.
Yeah. Now doing a force was grand. I've done it a couple of times. I just can't do it anymore. It's just too powerful for me.
The effect of it is too powerful.
Yeah. Because you can purge on this as well.
Okay.
So I think I might step back from Rapé, but
So is this something now? See the way you just said there, I might step back.
yeah.
So is this something that kind of you've adapted into your lifestyle? Is it something like yearly, half year,
Yeah,
or is it
so-
something like do you get a feeling? Do you kind of get, you know what, I'm getting an urge? Because it doesn't sound like an addiction or anything like that. Do you get like
Well, all of these are non-addictive.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. They're all non-addictive.
so do you get I don't know, like
Yeah, a call.
yeah.
So these retreats cost money,
Do you mind me asking?
and money
Ballpark, how much?
you're looking at about 400 for 3 days. You get fed as well, so and you get
I'm purged.
mushrooms. I think it's a good deal. But yeah, all these things cost money. So it's not something, unless you had the money, but it's not something that I'd be able to do every weekend and you wouldn't do it in anyway.
Yeah.
But it is something that you do because as much of the work you have to do before you do these things, there's a lot of work you have to do after you do these things. And if you don't do the work after, you're not going to get the full benefits out of what you just went through and what you've done.
Give us
So-
an example of after, like, forgive me for asking
Yeah,
any
no.
stupid questions.
There is
but,
no
like,
stupid questions when it comes to this.
My own experience
Yeah.
in anything like this is zero.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it fascinates me. You'll see it on other podcasts, and Joe Rogan obviously talks about it. Well, versions of psychedelics, and he's got some experts. And blah, blah. But it does fascinate me. I don't really have an urge now to go and do it or anything like that. But I am fascinated by the experience and what's happening, and like it's, I don't know, maybe life changing is.
It can be.
Yeah.
And you see it with, like, it's a taboo subject now at the minute, but you see it if they're using ketamine, DMT, mushrooms. They're using all these for PSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and for anxiety, for people that are dying with cancer, like that have given no hope. And what it does is it allows them to accept death, basically. So people have gone through these experiences while in palliative care and on their deathbed, and they've come out of it going, oh, I'm okay. As in, I know I'm going to die, but I have a better understanding of
I'm going to ask you something. If
where they're going to go.
If you're not able to answer it, I don't know, because I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just say these experiences, somebody in a deathbed or somebody on palliative care. So I'm picturing somebody that might be in a nursing home or something. Like, legal? Is it like to receive it? Like, so is it family members that are giving it, or is it maybe
the ones
contact of somebody who might be involved in one of the retreats?
Well, the ones I've seen have been on YouTube and in places in America where it is legal,
right,
or clinical studies or stuff like that.
I was picturing.
So
I was picturing it in Ireland. Thinking,
this is the well, it should be. This is the problem, and why it's so touchy subject. Like, it annoys me because I've changed a little bit, probably not as much as I wanted it, and I kind of know what I want to do and where I want to go with it, but my outlook on life and just as I said, I'm fairly relaxed as it is, but like just after doing this, it's just a different. It's kind of hard to explain as well. And I didn't have a profound experience. I had a really
Yeah.
good experience, really nice experience, but I didn't have a thing called breakthrough. And you hear that on Joe Rogan
Yeah.
as well. People talking about breakthroughs, and I didn't have that. Now loads of people did. That's where you go into it, like basically a different realm, different dimension.
So when you're saying breakthrough, breaking through to another dimension where
Yeah,
you're maybe
yeah.
you're visually able to see or experience or feel.
Mm. Now I didn't have that, for whatever reason. Maybe I didn't do the prep work beforehand, whatever it may be.
You went back to some lady walking in and could have just smashing the car out of it with the barrier. And stuff. It was-
See, mine was grand. Like, see, you'd have to talk to somebody. As I said, my brother Paddy, as another fella, Paddy's mate actually, David Farrell. You have to talk to these fellas. These know a lot more than what I know, and their experience with it.
We get them in for a
Oh,
chit chat.
they
Yeah.
talk so much
Again,
better.
just a general chit
Yeah,
chat like
yeah.
this.
But
Do you share
mine
your
was
experience?
what?
Do you share your experiences
But
with
that's the
people
thing.
that are there
Oh, with that there, yeah.
afterwards? Like, are you required to share
No,
what
you
you've
can
seen?
no, nothing's required. No, you can talk about it. You don't have to talk about it. But everybody generally does talk about it.
Yeah.
You're all
Get
connected.
the urge to want
You're
to
all
talk
connected.
about it. Like,
Yeah, you're all connected now. And mine was, so let me see. Let's go back to the rap A before. So we done the rap A, and people were getting a really good experience with it, like a really profound. That's what rap A, and they were like, oh, whatever feeling they were getting, and so I was next. Like, so the girl that went ahead of me is like, felt so much love after doing it, and just connection with everybody here. And now this is not a psychedelic either, but it was like happy days. Oh, I'm next. So left nostril is get rid of something negative. Right nostril take in something positive. So in your mind. So I was like, grand. So I'm trying to think.
can you do both?
You do both. Oh no, you do both. That's the
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
You have to balance it out.
Yeah.
So it starts off on the left. So you're just thinking in your own head, you're thinking, right, get rid of something negative, whatever it may be. So I was trying to think, I'm fairly clean, like as in lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh. So I'm lazy, basically. I'm a procrastinator.
Procrastinator, I'm the
Yeah.
same.
Just I just want a bit more. I just want to do a bit more on that side. So I want to get rid of that laziness, and that's what I put it down as. So, and they were saying the left one, because it's a negative, they're saying the left one's really tough, right one's a lot easier. I was like, so that's, I had all this in my head. So I was next. So he has, I forget the name of it, but it's like a pipe, and he fills the pipe with the râpé, and then he holds it in front of you. So nothing's forced upon you at all. He holds it in front of you, and when you're ready, you just place it in your nostril, and he goes, no, the lightest blow, because it's so fine. It goes. So when that it's going up, right, and you just feel this whole side going, you feel it all the way back here. It's a strange feeling, but you're going, that's just madness. And the left one for me was grand. People saying the left one was tough.
Yeah.
The left one was grand for me. It's grand. So then he, as you're sitting there breathing, relaxing, he's getting set up for the second one. Same again, hold it in front. When you're ready, go again. And that's, it's both sides are even now.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting there trying to breathe, relax, breathe, relax, breathe, relax. So after the girl that went ahead of me saying, oh, so much love, and this and the other, I came out going, I'm not feeling any of
And
that.
you're not skeptical, really, are you? Either you're.
And this was something I wanted to do as well. So I was like, I'm not feeling any of that. So then she's like, oh, then he was like, and I was just talking then, because we everybody's open. And I was just explaining. I said, like, as I said, I feel like I shouldn't be here. Imposter syndrome, I've no trauma, this and the other. I had a great childhood. Like, we didn't have money, but never wanted for anything. So much love in the house, all that sort of stuff. And I'm saying these things. And I'm going, a great marriage, kids, a whole lot. I'm saying all these things again. And next all I went, And I just start crying. I go, I don't appreciate what I have. And that's what I got out of it. I was like, and everybody's like, you're all right, you're all right. So that sort of love and appreciation, and that's what I got. And then it was after that she got, because I was saying, I'm not coming here with anything. And that girl, Sinead, she said, you don't have to come here for that. Yeah. You don't have to have any trauma to do these retreats.
Yeah.
It's for you and you only. Whatever reason you're coming here to do them, that's the reason why you're coming here to do them. And so that was that. So this is over 2 days now that we've been doing this stuff. And then that night we had a cacao ceremony.
What's that?
Cacao? It's the rawest form of chocolate. It's the cacao bean.
Okay.
So do you know cocoa?
Yeah.
So cocoa is cacao, but it's processed.
Right.
And all the goodness is taken out of it. What you call it?
When you say ceremony, like...
Yeah, and it was actually done before the mushroom ceremony. So cacao is... you can sweeten it up. It's very bitter. It's very earthy, very bitter. You can drink it raw if you want, or you can sweeten it up, honey, whatever, cinnamon, whatever you want to put in it. So there's so many. You can get this in anywhere. You can get it in all the health shops now. Cacao, you can get it in a powder. Just be careful. It has to be raw cacao, not over processed. Go check YouTube and check out all the videos on cacao. Switch your coffee.
The same as cocoa, spell it?
Yeah, CACAO. CACAO. Cacao is different names or different ways of pronouncing it. But this I'd recommend to anybody. Definitely recommend this. It's switch your coffee for this.
Okay, there's a statement.
Because there's a caffeine in it, but you don't get the drop that you do with coffee.
So is there a percentage? Is there like
I'm not sure.
Is there a I take a certain type of coffee. I drink normal coffee as well. But I take Organo Gold is the name of the one that I take, and it's from a mushroom basically. It's it's antioxidants and alkaline, but it's like 1/12 of the caffeine content in it. But it's a bitterness that's to it. I might have a sachet there actually. Of it. I'll
show you the picture. You can write it down of the one that I have. Now the thing is, it's expensive. I don't know how much your coffee is, but cacao is expensive. And that's the one.
We'll stick a link in.
So, I'm gonna get that there. There we go.
Left.
There we go. That's it there.
Lovely.
So
we'll have product placement now.
Yeah,
on the next few podcasts.
But that's a fairly decent sized bar, and that's €50. Whoa. It's expensive. So you can get the powder, which is a little bit cheaper, but I just prefer the bar.
So when you're replacing coffee with cacao, are you in chocolate form or using the powder to use as a coffee?
No, with the powder, say powder for example, you just scoop in whatever grams you want. So they say 40 grams of cacao is ceremonial dose. So, but as I checked YouTube for all the ingredients and all the properties that it has in it, full of antioxidants. Do you know, I've never smoked weed. So when you smoke weed though, the relaxing feeling you get without the high.
Okay, see, this is why people are probably looking, going like, so yeah, you're working total fitness together and blah 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 blah, and it's a random conversation. But like you, from what I know, that you just said like you never smoked weed, so you don't know what that experience is like. Whereas I don't want to stereotype anything, or I don't want to stereotype anyone, but usually if you're hearing these stories about whether it's psychedelics, whatever like that, it might be somebody who does have a background or has maybe
and you're probably
done your weed or has tried a bit of ketamine or coke or any of that sort of stuff.
And you're probably best off talking to people like that because they are definitely the ones.
But that's what intrigued me about chit-chatting with you.
Yeah, because
I think we had similar enough personality styles ourselves, like in the sort of clean enough lifestyle, like same. But that's why I'm intrigued by
I'm
it,
like
which is
the-
I'm interested to get your.
I'm like the Benjamin Button of drugs. I started off with the really hard ones and worked my way backwards.
Fuck's sake.
So, because the first one I done was DMT. So DMT is, they say it's the most powerful psychedelic
Out there.
out there. And so, but DMT, there's two ways. So, smoking it as
Yeah.
DMT or
Some people vape
ayahuasca.
it as well, yeah.
Vape it, yeah. You're inhaling. So, or ayahuasca.
So oral or
Yeah,
inhale.
yeah. The difference between the two is ayahuasca is a slow process and
That's like
takes
4
4
or
to
5
5
hours.
hours. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the DMT is like instant.
15-minute job.
And then
isn't it?
you're out 15, 20 minutes. Depends on the person, yeah. All I done on DMT was laugh. Just laughed. Like laughed out loud. Laughed like I used to laugh as a child. And we were going in groups. Now, it's all about setting. So we went camping to do this. But we were all grand because we all knew each other. So the
Yeah.
setting was grand. But we're going in pairs because you have other people around you then, just make sure you're okay, stuff like that. And the first time I went in a pair, that was it. After that, nobody would go in a pair with me because I just laughed. But I was like, I just couldn't control it. Like, it was just so funny to me. Like, and I didn't get many visuals on that, but I just laughed. Like, I just couldn't stop. Now, I'd love to do DMT more, but same. I don't smoke, so the inhale was very, very tough for me. So I'd probably go down the ayahuasca route.
Yeah.
It's a slower, obviously.
Proper retreat style even. Or,
Yeah. Oh, it has to be.
That's
You
fascinating.
you can't do these things.
Like this is turned into. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say, and they all say it to you when you before you do a questionnaire before you do any of this stuff. And if you don't do a questionnaire, you're going to the wrong people. There's people that go, like, these are the rules. These are the stuff you have to abide by and maintain. And one of the first things they say is, if you're coming to do these things just to get out of your face, well, you're going to the wrong.
Yeah.
Just don't do them. You're going in with the wrong intention. It won't be a good experience. You have to want to do it, and on a spiritual level, basically.
It's just fascinating. The conversation's going in this direction, and like I said, we'll do loads of podcasts. So just to go back on the Mayo one.
Yes.
So you've gone your 3 days, you've done your 3 bits, and then you've got the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Your finale, so to speak.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. So your whole body is you've worked your way up. Hopefully, you've done the work beforehand. You've worked your way up. You have all intentions as well. You have to be going in these things with what you want to get out of it, basically. Where do you want to go? What you want to do? And you keep those intentions with you right the way up. So it was the cacao ceremony and then mushrooms on the last night. Sorry. And so we all had our cacao. We were all sitting around. 20 of us in the room. And I was the last one to go. For some reason, I just start getting real. Because you bring a notepad and pen. You just write everything down. Just write. And then I just start, because there was another fella there, Johnny, he was, for the whole 3 days, he was doing poems. And I'd written 1 or 2 beforehand.
I was just going to say, you're comfortable with a notepad and pen anyway, yeah?
But not comfortable reading them out.
Okay.
And still not. But like, I'll do it if I have to. But like, Johnny was just like, A4 pages, sheets, poem after poem after poem, and I was deadly. And I was just going, and this fella, like, he looks rough. Like he's if you saw him first without knowing him, wouldn't really, could be dodgy, this fella. But one of the nicest fellas you ever meet. And me looking at him reading out the poems, I was like, Jesus, he's fucking, like, there was no ego, there's no image, there's no, like, there's all that was gone. I was like, oh, then if he's doing it, I'll do it. So I read out 1 or 2 of mine. But after that, I was just writing. And I was actually writing a poem about the experience. And I just finished it. Like, literally just finished it. And I was next for the mushroom. And everybody else had gone before me. So you come into whoever's doing it. He asks you as well, have you done it before? How far do you want to go? It's questions. And I was all in. I was like, yeah, that's whatever. So I think it was 3.8 grams, which 5 is the big one. They say 5 grams of mushrooms.
I wouldn't. But...
Yeah. So 3.8 is decent.
So when he's saying how far you want to go, how far into a trip you want to go. Yeah.
And because it was my first time, I think he just held back a bit.
Yeah.
So 3.8, he felt that was good enough for me, which it probably was. I probably think I could have went further, to be honest. No breakthrough. And then what happened was...
But at least you're able to say that now because you had a nice experience on it.
Yeah.
You'd hate to be sitting here going, I tried 4.5, but
and then,
probably should have been a 3.8 maybe.
Yeah. Hindsight with everything. So then, because what happened was, by the time I had taken mine, and some people were already in it, and you could hear them talking or they're laughing. You try to generally be quiet. You're still in full awareness of the room. And you try to be mindful of everybody else as well, so you're not going too far. One of the lads was the same again, roaring and laughing, and he said, just went over and just try to take that down a little bit, like there's other people. I just couldn't get into it. There was nothing happening. Like literally nothing happening whatsoever. I was like, this is not...
Could have been because there was so much happening already around.
Maybe, yeah. I think it might have been a little bit distracted and stuff like that. And then you can take rapé during the mushroom ceremony. Rapé can either bring you on or actually bring you back. So if it's too much for you, you take rapé and it brings you back. So I was like, this is not happening for me. And one of the girls over the far side, she wasn't having a good time. And she went, is this nearly over? And he was like, no, you're halfway through. And she was like, oh, fuck. So she was going mad that she was only halfway through. And I was going mad that it was halfway through and nothing has happened.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck. So I was straight up. I said, I'll take rapé and hopefully bring me on. Yeah. Now, I thought nothing was happening. But when I stood up, because you go over to him, you can come over to him. He can come over to you. But I said, no, I'll go over to you. It's only like from here to that door away. And I said, I'll come over to you. And so I went over. And then when I kneeled down in front of him, right, as I was kneeling down, I was on a cliff edge. So I could see this perfectly, right? So I was kneeling down. I knew I was in the room, but I could see a cliff. I was on a cliff edge, and I was looking straight down. And it's just the water hitting the rocks. A sheer drop. And I looked up, so he was closer than what you were to me. He was like half this table away from me. But when I looked up, he was where you were, floating.
Out over the cliff.
Over the cliff.
Fuck.
And I was going, that's where, in my own head, I was like, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to go. And so then we done the rapé. Oh, and while all this was happening, because there's music playing. And it just so happened to be tribal music, as in warrior, as in, all that was going on. So I was really into it. Like, this is like an initiation almost.
Inside you're motivated.
Yeah. So then, so we done the rapé. And as soon as the second one went in, I was like...
So when you're doing the rapé, right, I don't want to cut across you, but when you stand up, you can see yourself, you're there, you're kneeling, you're on the cliff edge, you see your man there. The actual taking of then the rapé, are you back in the room or is it hard to explain?
It's kind of hard to explain.
Like your man's on,
it's kind of a little bit
on the edge of a cliff.
Because he's literally right there, but I saw him out there when I looked at him first. But like, you're not really... Because next of all, the pipe is here, like he had it right there, so you just do that. So it's not even, it's
not a long time.
No. Okay. You're not even looking up or anything. And as soon as that happened, the cliff was gone. Back in the room, but I felt so much better. I was like, oh, this is where I want to be. This is exactly how I wanted to feel and where I wanted to be. And I was looking at it and said, yes, this is it. So he was checking the room because he's other people helping him as well, and he's checking on everybody. He goes, I'm back in a minute. He goes, and literally my bed was just there, and I couldn't move. Couldn't get out the yoke. I was just kneeling there, and I started laughing. I was like, I cannot move off this thing. And ever see the scene out of Wolf of Wall Street where he took
his car?
Where I just went, okay, and I just collapsed down to the side and then rolled.
But they're happy to leave you still because they know you're not hurting yourself.
Oh yeah, no, but there was another person there with me as he was walking around. she was just looking around, but and literally it was only like a step away, basically. But I had to crawl over to the bed, and as soon as I got into it, I was like, "This is perfect. This is just exactly where I want to be." And for the whole rest of the time, then it was bliss. Like, it was just an amazing experience, and it was just pure. As the next day, it was just all gratitude, pure love for everybody that was being in my life beforehand, just everything.
And that's followed you on now. How
Yeah.
long ago?
That one was last year, 6th of May, I think it was last year. And
So it hasn't been a year. It hasn't been
No.
a full year.
no, it's a year and a bit now. So 2 years ago, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I got out of it. But now I have to put all this into practice, bring it into my life and stuff like that. And so I didn't want to be lazy. I was sitting around on phones, and I just deleted everything. And
So what? Social media, everything.
yeah. And I just start concentrating on my own stuff, try to get out more, sea dips, walks, mainly being more present with the kids off the phone. So when they're asking you a question, you actually turn around looking at them, engaging with them, all that sort of stuff. And these are all
I could probably take a lesson in that, to be fair.
everybody can. But it only, like, as in, you still have to do the work. Like, so this for a good while was perfect. I think we actually, before that, the family holiday, because it was just, drink destroys everything. It destroys everything. And they tell you, as soon as you do these retreats, he goes, as much as you want, as much as you're getting out of this, as soon as you take any bit of alcohol, it's gone. Like, that feeling, that glow, that after, it's gone. Alcohol just destroys it altogether. And we didn't have to be. We done 10 days of drinking.
I'm not going to destroy it. I'm going to just kill it off.
I was just, I felt, after the holiday, I felt like I was almost back at square one.
Okay.
And then plus then I had started my class, so I had to go back on social media to sort of promote the class a little bit. So I was back on social media, and so now I feel like there's a bit of a calling because I haven't done one in a while. So
you're going to do one live on ImageX. That'd be great. So you're breathing, your classes. Give us a...
So that's where that...
Sorry, I appreciate you sharing, by the way.
Yeah,
and I appreciate you being completely open and not just one-sided argument to why it's completely honest, and then let people make their own judgment on it. We're not here to judge them or to push or anything like that. Let people make their own judgment on what they've heard themselves.
And the thing is as well, though, at the end of the day, these things are illegal. So I don't know if there's going to be any problems with me saying these things here, but as you said, it is honest. These are non-addictive. All they've done for me is benefited me in my life. I don't drink. Not that I don't. I've stopped drinking. No, I'm not saying I don't drink. I've stopped drinking just for my own thing. So I haven't drank in August, I think.
Perfect.
And just because it wasn't working for me. Every time I went out and drank, I think I didn't go out enough, for starters. So when I did go out, I drank as if I was always being out, and then I just get destroyed, and then I'm just lucky I'm a happy drunk. But what was happening halfway during the night then, like, the night wasn't even over, and I was going, I had to go into the jacks, get sick, back out. Normally that'd be the next day, but now it's happening earlier in the night. You're destroyed for 2-3 days after with a hangover.
Yeah, eating crap.
Just didn't work for me. And I just stopped it. So I don't want to do it anymore. And I'm having a much better time now. Now, saying that, I'm not telling anybody else not to drink. You can do whatever you want. But for me, that's what's benefited me. One of the benefits of it,
Yeah, no, fair play. So what's the start of the classes?
So then the classes...
Where can we find you?
Well, yeah. So the classes came from that retreat. A lot of stuff came from that retreat. The classes, the poetry, just trying to be a better person in general, came from that retreat, that first retreat. The classes are in K&M Fitness in Baldoyle. That's my age gym.
Ah, is that above the...
Atlas Garage.
Atlas Garage,
yeah. So beside the Apple Green, above the Atlas Garage. And so every Monday and Wednesday at 10:30, I do It's called an SBR class. So stretching, breathing, relaxation.
Stretch and breathing, relaxation.
Now, as I say in the class, straight off the bat, if anybody comes up, this is not a yoga class. I'm not qualified. This is not a Pilates class. I'm not qualified. This is your basic stretch class. Full body stretch.
Old school body line.
Old school body line, yeah. So it's a full body stretch class. But there's an added element to it, is that, yeah, you're stretching the body. But like what you do in the retreats, we're trying to get to a place by the end of the class, because it's about a 35, 40-minute stretch class. It's about a 10-minute lying down breathing exercise, so deep breathing. You do three rounds of that. And then the last 10 minutes, I stop talking. You just cover yourselves with blankets. You have a pillow, and you just don't do anything. You can fall asleep. I'll wake you after 10 minutes.
Body line. We used to do that in body line.
It's so simple. There's no, like, as I said, the basic stretches. Yeah, they can be tough. You're holding a pose or whatever. But there's no rules, as in, I'm not standing over you going, you have to stay in this pose, you have to stretch it. These are the stretches. I can show you the hard way. I can show you the stretch, I can show you the hard way, and then I can show you the easier way. And then it's up to you whatever you want to do them. Like, as in, you just take your time. And then, so the first part, like the rapé, is allowing all these negative thoughts to come into your head. Allow, like, I have shopping to do today, I have to collect the kids today, all that sort of stuff. Allow that to come into your head. Give it a second. Do your breathing, because we're breathing through each stretch, and then go, let it go. Can't solve that now. That's for after the class. Let that go. Do all that in the first half, in the stretching part. In the breathing part, then we concentrate on something positive. So family, friends, whatever it may be, that helps you. So we've done negative, got rid of it, taking in something positive, and then in the last section, hopefully, your mind will be relaxed, your body will be had a bit of a workout from the stretches, that you're able to relax for 10 minutes without no phone calls, nobody calling you, no, it's just you, your mat, and your breath just sitting there asleep, basically. So, and that's the SBR class. And as well as that, this bank holiday Monday, I'm actually doing 2 classes. So one at 10:30 and one at 5:30. It's €10 class, 1 hour. Don't have to be a member of K&M Fitness. You just find me on Facebook. Or
I'd say when this one gets edited and goes out,
it'll be after, yeah.
But the
Same thing
K&M
applies.
Fitness is where you can find it, but it's the class where you can actually.
Yeah, Mondays and Wednesdays at 10:30 in the morning. The only reason why I don't do an evening class is because of work. I'd love to do an evening somewhere. But they're the classes, and it's before Christmas was really good response. After Christmas, people are a bit slow getting back. Hopefully they get back into it after the bank holiday. And then men just don't stretch. It's a lot of women in the class, which I've no problem with. But if a few lads,
I'll bring a few of the lads down.
they need to stretch.
I'll bring a few of us down.
Yeah, come down. Come down and do a class.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I will. But where you've taken that from, obviously the retreat and stuff like that, and you've brought a similar style system into the class, it's good to see where you're going. And I know you're getting another bit of a call in there as well now.
Oh, 100%.
You're saying so. Like, I think this will be podcast one of a few, because I'm very intrigued, but I know we've gone on the complete tangent and we're gone there for about an hour and a half or something like that. So like we'll wrap it up now.
Yeah,
but
no worries.
intrigued to actually do
and then
do another one. So
and what it is as well, like, I couldn't recommend. Say if you were interested, I'd have no problem recommending you to the person that I've done.
Broken the camera.
To the person that I've done it with. But I couldn't recommend even if someone I knew, I go, no, I can't recommend. I just couldn't trust them, how they react, or they're not there yet. The work hasn't been done, put in beforehand or whatever like that. So anybody that's interested, or anybody that's willing to put the work in before and after, it benefited me. It's still benefiting me, and like anything else, the work has to be put in.
Yeah. Right. Well, keep me updated. Listen,
I will,
we'll be in touch on WhatsApp anyway. We'll definitely do more of these. Keep you updated on the book as well. Keep me updated on how you're getting on with
The
the
classes.
retreats and stuff like that. We'll pop down. We'll pop down for a class. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
As I said, old school.
I'll enjoy
but
that sort
it's
of
just
stuff.
a little bit.
Sometimes
extra.
old school works. Sometimes simple works. Doesn't have to be
But that's-
overcomplicated with crazy ideas. You know, it can
Like
be simple.
anybody coming into the industry, you learn all your stuff. You bring it into the gym or your classes or your personal training. But if any point, if you get stuck in teaching somebody, all you have to do is bring it right back to basics and start again. Just go from there.
Yeah.
If you get into trouble and go, all right, we'll just bring it back and go from there.
We say that in exams. If you're teaching an exam and you've got a group of 6 or 7 people in front of you and you're teaching them, what's the worst case scenario? You fall over, you say something stupid, they all start looking at you and just it goes to crap, and you have an examiner sitting there and blah 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 blah. Just take it back, get it going again, get with the music again, talk to them, and then you go again. You've shown that examiner there that you've got class control and that you're able to instruct, and if anything, you actually show that you're capable of the worst case scenario happening and still staying in control, rather than just being good with music and throwing it on and not paying attention to people down the back. So
you have to.
Everything goes in waves anyway, you know.
That was
Dougie,
Come here,
absolute pleasure.
really
Yeah,
enjoyed
no,
that.
listen, we'll do plenty more. But again, thank you so much for coming
problem.
in
Thanks,
and
man.
from that random
Awesome.
bump in the pavilions.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's refreshing that we got to actually have a chit chat on the podcast and not
Not
too
worry
much about courses or anything even really about him. It's just it's life,
Yeah.
and this is part
Just-
of your life.
Saw you in December. The last time we saw each other, I think, was Gordo's Stags in Amsterdam.
Jesus,
I think that was the last. I was thinking back. I was like, I can't remember seeing Connor. I think that was the last
And
time.
how easy it was to just
Well, like,
chit-chat.
you're one of those people, and same with Gordo. Gordo be one of those people as well. I don't see Gordo from one end of the year to the other. But when we see each other straight off, it's like being back at Total Fitness, sitting here with you, like just talking in the canteen.
chit-chat. You on the early tomorrow? Oh, Jesus. Well, pleasure, man.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Listen, we'll
Really
throw all the
enjoyed it.
links and stuff like that up then in the descriptions and stuff like that as well.
Nice one.
Pleasure,
Thanks,
legend.
lads.
Boom.